Daniel Richard is a man who has been touted as a hero in New Hampshire and throughout the country by luminaries like Mike Lindell, the guy that sells overpriced pillows cheap if you haven't used one of his discount codes to buy one of the overpriced things. And he's famous for doing that because he's got lots of money. And he supports Daniel Richard and the con job that Daniel Richard is playing on everyone in New Hampshire that's stupid enough to listen to him. Daniel Richard is helping the owners of the Federal Reserve rob everyone in the United States by trying to tell people to vote for Republicans. Daniel Richard is helping the owners of the Federal Reserve rob everyone in the United States by asking attorneys dressed in black robes pretending to be judges who he filed a lawsuit to, by asking those enemy judges to allow attorneys to remain on the ballots in New Hampshire in violation of the Declaration of Independence and in violation of the 13th Amendment to the Constitution. This is what Daniel Richard did with his silence by asking for election integrity to do something about people who vote by mail, absentee ballots, instead of going to the polls and showing an ID. Well, this doesn't matter because all elections in the United States are rigged because only Democrats or Republicans can win. And if a Democrat or a Republican wins, then the Federal Reserve remains in existence and attorneys remain in our government to destroy our freedom. Daniel Richard isn't telling anyone any of these things. I don't think Daniel Richard is truly that stupid that he doesn't understand what the Federal Reserve is. I know he understands what the original 13th Amendment is because I talked to him about it once and he told me that he had seen an actual copy of it from some old book from the 1800s that someone had let him look at. So he does understand that the original 13th Amendment is still part of our Constitution, but he won't take any issue with that in the case that he presents to the enemies on the New Hampshire Supreme Court when he asks them to do something about rigged elections. And this is why criminals like Mike Lindell tout Daniel Richard as a hero. Mike Lindell must support the enemies who own the Federal Reserve. He must support the attorneys too. You can't trust rich guys like Donald Trump. They can't be trusted. And you can't trust people like Daniel Richard, who doesn't talk about the Federal Reserve or throwing every goddamn attorney out of our government, instead of appealing to them. Intelligent people understand that we the people are the authorities in this country, and we the people can overrule every court in the country because we have all the authority. But Daniel Richard doesn't try to appeal to we the people. He appeals to enemy attorneys pretending to be judges and has a whole bunch of stupid people that trust him as a, quote, expert, unquote, on our law. Daniel Richard doesn't know anything about law. He knows some things about the fraud, deception, and subversion that is practiced by attorneys that is called, quote, law, unquote, by attorneys. But intelligent people understand that that is not law. That's fraud, deception, and subversion. Law is what we the people say it is. It's the preamble of the Constitution, and it's a Declaration of Independence. The preamble made the people the authorities, It confirmed what the Declaration of Independence said. The Declaration of Independence is our supreme law, in spite of what Daniel Richards says, because he thinks he knows our law, and he thinks the Constitution is our supreme law. He told me so. He pretends to actually be that stupid. But nothing can ever stand above the Declaration of Independence, because the Declaration of Independence made we the people the authorities. It barred all the attorneys from practicing the deranged version of law in our country, and it gave us that duty to remove our government from office after a long train of abuses and usurpations. That's what everyone who touts the Constitution as our law does not want you to know. They do not want you to know that you're required to remove this government from office, and all you have to do is say so. Daniel Richard, the alleged expert on law in New Hampshire, will not tell you that. Instead, he tells you to appeal to enemy attorneys, to keep attorneys illegally on the ballots so they can stay in our government illegally to destroy our freedom. That's Daniel Richard, a coward who challenged me to a debate, and which I accepted as soon as I saw the challenge. That Daniel Richard ran and hid from me and would not respond, and refuses still to debate me. This is the man who some in New Hampshire consider a hero, a lying coward who doesn't understand what law is by we the people. We the people are the authorities on law. Attorneys are not authorities on law. Attorneys are authorities at fraud, deception, subversion, lying, cheating, and stealing. That's what you need to know about attorneys, and that's what you need to know about Daniel Richard, a man who supports attorneys destroying freedom in the United States. Thanks for watching.